Hello there and welcome to the channel. My name is Simon and you are watching Walking Talking Gardeners, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about those 5 mistakes to avoid when it comes to growing hyacinths. Now when you go to the shops, these are Hyacinthus orientalis meaning from the Orient, from the Latin meaning from the East, although commonly called Dutch hyacinths. They're grown there, but they don't come from there. And they're not really from the Orient. They're more from the Western Asia, Turkey, that kind of area. But when you go to the shops, you'll generally see 2 types. You're going to see forced hyacinths and you're going to see regular unforced hyacinths. The forced hyacinths have been cold treated in order to flower around about Christmas time, so you get that lovely perfume scent when all the family is round. Then your regular hyacinths, which you would grow outside, will flower in the spring. So let's get to it. What are those 5 mistakes that you need to avoid? Not you, because I know you know how to do this already. When it comes to growing Hyacinthus orientalis. The first mistake to avoid is to not provide it with enough drainage, and that will be the same whether you're planting it in a pot indoors or whether outside in the ground. So as mentioned, Hyacinthus orientalis are native to the Middle East, Turkey, that sort of western part of Asia, and as such they have evolved to survive hot dry summers and cold winters, and you need to try and replicate that in your garden when you're trying to grow it in order to get the best out of this plant. So when it comes to drainage, when planting outside in your garden, avoid heavy soils, avoid clay soils, avoid soils that are permanently wet throughout the year. They require excellent drainage all year so they can dry out and bake over the summer period. Now if you don't have good well-drained soils, you can improve the drainage of your soils by digging in plenty of organic matter or adding in grit or grit sand to improve the drainage, get more air pockets within the soil. If that still won't work, then consider putting them into a raised border so you've got naturally good drainage, or simply put into a pot. When it comes to choosing a pot, consider using a pot that is porous, and that way if you do have excessive water within the compost, it's able to leach and dry out through the sides of the pot. So you'd be looking at a terracotta pot, you'd be looking at concrete pot, you'd be looking at a pre-formed stone pot. You can use glazed pots, you can use plastic pots, but you'll get better condition within the soil if you're using these porous pots. Now let's talk about compost. When you are walking around your garden centre choosing your bulbs, you will see piles of bags of bulb fibres sitting around. You might think, oh, bulb fibre, that must be the perfect thing to plant my bulbs into. Well, it will be absolutely fine for at least 1 year. Well, 1 year, simply because there is no nutrition in it. It is very fibrous, it's a very cheap product, you know, it helps with drainage, that is about it. But if you're looking at keeping these long term, because these are hardy bulbs when kept in good conditions outside, then consider using something a bit better. You'll probably be better off using something such as a seed and cutting compost because it's well drained, low nutrient. But if you don't have any and you just want to use what you've got, then use a regular multi-purpose compost, but just improve the drainage by adding in some horticultural grit sand or grit or perlite or vermiculite, just to make sure that those air pockets are there, the compost is free draining, just to create the ideal conditions for growing your hyacinth. Now, if you have yet to purchase your hyacinths or any bulbs or seeds or garden sundries for that matter, then I have some good news for you that will save you genuine folding money. Just check out my breaking news. Welcome to breaking news. Thompson and Morgan have joined forces with us, Walking Talking Gardeners, to give you, our viewers, an incredible 12% discount off of everything they have in their store. That's all their dry goods, their sundries, their seeds, their bulbs, all their plants. Everything means everything. How can they do it? I have no idea. But all you need to do to get that discount is spend over £20 and stick in this promotional code, which will be in the description. Alternatively, you can go direct to our landing page, which I'll also put here, and your code will be added automatically. Again, the link for that will be in the description. How do they do it? How can they possibly give such a large discount? I have no idea. No one else can do it. You have got until the end of this year, that is December 31st, 2025, to take advantage of this offer, and then the offer is gone for the spring. So do it now. Spend all your money buying what you need. Don't buy stuff you don't need. It's only worth doing it if it was stuff you wanted to buy in the first place. Don't forget, now is the time to plant your spring flowering bulbs. Anyway, it's all in the description. It's a fantastic offer. I thoroughly recommend it. Who gives 12%? 5% is like your profit margin on all this garden centre products. 12%. Enough said. And now back to your regular programming. Mistake number 2 is to not provide a cold period which is required for hyacinths in order for them to initiate their blooms. Now, if you have purchased forced hyacinths, then they have already been pre-chilled in order to initiate flowering, so you don't need to worry about those. If you're planting them outside for a spring display, you must get them planted in the autumn so they can experience that cold period of your natural winter. They need somewhere between 12 and 16 weeks of chilled in order to do that. If you have your own hyacinths that you've dug up and you want to force them yourself, well, then that is fine. You can just clean them off, put them in the fridge. But if you're going to do that, avoid keeping them with other fruits, especially things like bananas that release ethylene naturally, because that will actually inhibit flowering. So that's the opposite of what you're trying to do. Not that people keep bananas in the fridge, do they? Somebody probably does, but there you go. They must have that cold period, otherwise flowering will not be initiated and you won't have the flowering display in the spring. What the flip? So hyacinths are a bulb. The bulb is there to hold all of the energy and nutrition, starches and sugars, which they can use to power next year's flowering display. So once your hyacinth has finished flowering, don't allow the flower head to then produce its seed pods and its seeds, because that will expend an awful lot of energy that could be used next year into producing next year's flowering display. So when hyacinths have finished flowering, remove the seed head and the seed pods, all of that, but leave all of the foliage and the stalk. That way the leaves can continue to photosynthesize, producing more sugars to build up the bulb, and during its natural sort of seasonal growth and stopping growth, eventually all those leaves will dry off and all the nutrition and starches within the leaves will also be drawn back into the bulb. That way your bulb is in its best condition for the following season's display. That's quite important. Don't cut those leaves too early, allow them to dry back and die back until they're properly dry. Don't allow seeds to form. Good advice. Mistake number 4 is to do with heat and light. If you're growing false hyacinths indoors for your Christmas display, then like most people who grow these, you're going to have central heating. Your house will be a lovely temperature, but it's probably going to be too warm for your hyacinths. So as best as you can, keep them somewhere cool and bright. The problem is that if it's too warm, as the flower head starts to grow, it just grows too long and starts to fall over, go a bit bendy, looks shocking. So try and avoid that by keeping them in as cool condition as you can, and bring them out when people are around to show off your growing skills. Now, light, we're going back to its native habitat where it is extremely sunny. You need to give these plants as much light as they can possibly have in order to keep them growing well. Without the light, the plants cannot produce enough energy and sugars in order to power those massive flowers that they produce in the spring. According to the Royal Horticultural Society, you must provide hyacinths an absolute minimum of 6 hours of direct sunshine, our kid. Now the last mistake, number 5, is to do with planting. So this is your bulb. Always plant it the right way up. Some bulbs you can just chuck them in any way around, but with hyacinths they really won't like it. It will affect their growth if you plant them upside down. So that round disc, that is the basal plate from which your roots will come from. You can see, no, can't see anything, it hasn't started yet, and it's this way up. So the basal plate is downwards and the pointy top, that goes outwards. When you're planting these need to be planted fairly deep. You're looking at somewhere between 4 and 6 inches deep. You don't want them planted too shallowly, simply because in the UK, if you do get ground penetrating frost under wet conditions, then it can damage the bulb, it can kill off the basal plate. Your bulb will be dead and no more displays for you. And equally, you don't want to plant it too deep, because the amount of energy that expended producing longer stems to get through the soil and out the soil, again, will give you a lesser flowering display, because it's already spent so much energy just getting it above ground. So there you go, 2 things for mistake number 5. But if you've got any other mistakes that you would like to add, then you're more than welcome to do so. Put that into the description, because there are other things regarding feeding. You don't want to use high nitrogen foods, you want to use low nitrogen foods, you don't want to use it too often. Apply, when foliage comes in, but I'll allow you guys to have a talk about that in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you hopefully in the next video. Don't forget to click like, because that supports the channel, and if you want to subscribe, it is, as always, absolutely free, and you can unsubscribe at any time. But if you want to be notified of whenever we release a new video, then press that notification bell. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.